Good afternoon. Welcome to Ranking Applicants in the 2026 Maine Residency Match webinar. I'm Jeanette Callie. I am the Chief of Match Operations for the National Resident Matching Program, and I am joined today by my colleague, Joy Gabakayan, who's their Director of Policy and Compliance, and she's going to talk to you in a little bit after I talk to you about some ranking stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we're going to go over today. So today I'm going to give you the basics of ranking applicants and making sure your program is really prepared for the upcoming rank order list certification deadline. So we'll talk about the match calendar, checking and changing your quotas or withdrawing from the match because that deadline is coming up real quick, how to set your SOAP participation status, and of course what most of you are probably here for, which is the basics of entering and certifying a rank order list. We'll also review the matching algorithm and how that works to turn your rank list into a match. And then Joy's going to talk about some policies to be aware of to make sure everybody, including all of your program staff, successfully abide by those match rules. And of course, we'll go over some of the support resources we have too. So again, put your questions into the Q&A box and staff will be in there to cover those for you. So let's go ahead and get started on the content here. We do have some deadlines coming up, the first of which is this Friday that you're going to want to pay attention to. So the quota change deadline and withdrawal deadline is this Friday, January 30th. So for those of you who haven't been in these fun webinars before, the quota is the number of positions your program intends to fill in the match. And we'll talk about those quota changes in a little more detail shortly. The next milestone on the calendar is that ranking function, and the ranking function will open in the NRMP system on Monday, February 2nd. So for those of you who are going to be following along in the webinar today, in the R3 system, the NRMP's registration, ranking, and results system, you're not going to see the option to rank applicants in the system until that ranking function opens on February 2nd at noon Eastern Time. And of course, the most important deadline is that rank order list certification deadline. The deadline is Wednesday, March 4th, and that's at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And then so after that, no changes can be made to your rank order list. So that is the date you want to kind of circle and highlight, give yourself reminders for on your calendar. Less than 2 weeks after that is, of course, match week. Programs find out if they filled on Monday, March 16th. That does happen at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And that's when SOAP, which is the Supplemental Offer and Acceptance Program, will begin. So if you're unfilled, applications will be available for you to begin reviewing in your designated application service on Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. And then all 4 SOAP rounds will occur on Thursday. So there's a ton more information about SOAP. There's more detailed information on Match Week in the Match Calendar section at www.nrmp.org. But more importantly, we're also going to be conducting an additional webinar to review Match Week and SOAP. So we're not going to spend time today discussing Match Week, but I just wanted to make you aware of some of those important dates so you can plan ahead and make your preparations for such an important week. So let's next take a look at where you're going to be doing all these things. So as you're hopefully aware, kind of at this point, you're going to use the NRMP's registration, ranking, and results, what we would commonly refer to as the R3 system, to manage your program's participation in the match. The support team and I do often hear a lot of questions about, I can't see this or that in the R3 system. And a lot of times it's because you're actually in ARIS or in Residency Gas or in a different system. Keep in mind that the NRMP and the application services that you use to get your applications are separate services and systems. So what we're going to be talking about today is the NRMP's R3 system that helps you manage your program's participation in the match. And you can get there from the NRMP's public website. You'll click that yellow login and register button at the top of the page, and that's going to take you to R3. So one of the things you should note, and you all, if you've been on my webinars before, you heard me say accounts in the R3 system are individual. They are not program specific. So all user types, including the program director and program coordinator, should have their own individual accounts, and no one should be using another individual's account to access the system. That is actually a match participation agreement violation. So you want to make sure that you are only using your account to access the R3 system. So once you're logged in, just to give you a little bit of the lay of the land, on the top of the page is your user information. On the bottom of the page is an abbreviated version of the match calendar with some upcoming deadlines or milestones. And keep in mind, these screenshots are from a demo environment, so the dates are not necessarily going to reflect this year's match. And in the middle of the page are your program descriptions and NRMP program codes. Next to that is your program status: initial, active, withdrawn, not participating, ranking, certified. So your status is going to change depending on the current phase of the match and, of course, kind of what you've been up to in that particular phase of the match with your program. And then to the far right is the current quota for your program and the SOAP participation status. On the top menu bar is the announcement icon. You're going to want to check there for any NRMP announcements or reminders about the match. We do put some stuff in there to help keep you on track. And you're going to want to click on your program description to take you into the details of your program. This is where you're going to view and edit the program, including changing your program's quota and setting the SOAP participation status. So I keep mentioning this quota thing. As I mentioned, that quota change and withdrawal deadline is this Friday, January 30th. And that quota is the number of positions the NRMP is going to attempt to fill in the match for you and for your program tracks. The quota is rolled over from the previous year. And so, for instance, if your program had a temporary complement increase, and so the quota was increased in the 2025 match, then that is the quota that has been rolled over for the 2026 match. So the program director must review the quota to make sure it is correct. Any changes must be made by this Friday. And we have had some unfortunate incidents of programs forgetting to check or change their quota, and they ended up matching to more residents than they intended. So as you can imagine, that has some pretty dire impacts for the programs and for the applicants, and it's just really messy. So please, if you have not already done so, log in and take a look at your quota to ensure that it is correct. Quotas will be changed after Friday, but only in cases of extreme emergency. So we're talking about loss of funding, loss of accreditation, or on the positive side, if the ACGME approves an increase in a resident complement or there's an increase in funding for additional positions. So we will change quotas after Friday, but again, it has to be something that has come up that has been an emergency change. So requests for those exceptions do have to be submitted in writing to support@nrmp.org, and those can be submitted by either the PD with the institutional official copied or by the institutional official themselves. So to see the quota, as I showed you where you were kind of before, you're going to want to click on that quota tab. And then if you're the PD and need to change the quota, you're going to enter the correct quota in that box that I've highlighted there and click Set New Quota. Simple as that. That's going to trigger an email to your institutional official to approve that change. One of the things you should know is that you cannot certify a rank order list if a quota change is pending approval. So you're not going to want to wait until that quota change deadline to make quota changes because, of course, that's going to limit your ability to rank. So institutional officials and administrators can also change the quota for the program. But the bottom line, you're going to want to take a look at your quota, make sure it reflects the number of positions you intend to fill. And if you have multiple tracks, you want to make sure that the quotas of all your programs combined reflect the number of incoming residents of each type that you intend. And if you do need to withdraw the program from the match, if there's an extra track that you didn't realize was there, or it was an R physician only track from last year that you no longer need, Make sure you've done that by Friday as well. That is also the withdrawal deadline. So for that, you're going to click on that status tab and click withdraw. So again, withdrawals must also be made by that quota change deadline and do also have to be approved by your institutional official. There are a couple of other setup options you should also review depending on your type of program and if you have multiple tracks in the match. The first is joint advanced preliminary programs, and we did send an email out about this for those of you who have had them in the past. But this is the option to link an advanced PGY2 program with a preliminary PGY1 program, and that creates a full course of training at the same institution for applicants interested in the specialties that begin in the PGY2 year. So what it really does is it kind of changes or limits how applicants can rank. So only applicants ranking the A program on their primary rank order list can then rank the joined P program on their attached supplemental roll. So this just really ensures that only applicants who match the advanced program can match to that joined prelim. So you're going to use the Join AP tab to create the arrangement, and it does have to be entered into the R3 system before ranking opens on February 2nd. We cannot create or change joint AP arrangements after ranking has opened. So that absolutely has to be done before the before the quota change deadline. There are no exceptions to that one. So, and those also do have to be approved by the IO. So we only usually have about 120 joint AP arrangements each year. So it's not something that's going to be necessary for a lot of your programs. And they can get a little tricky. So there's a support guide and a page on our website with some further information. And of course, we have lots of staff that can help you. If it's something that might be right for your program, we can help you explore your options and take a look at that. Your reversions also should be reviewed to make sure they're set up correctly. For those of you who don't know what reversions are, that is how you can revert or donate unfilled positions if you have multiple tracks from one program track to another program track during the matching process. So there's one program that's the donor program and the other program is the receiver program. So keep in mind that programs cannot revert more positions than the current program quota, and reversions can be added and changed or deleted, but they have to be finalized, in this case, by the rank order list deadline. And they do have to be approved by the IO, as do most things in the match. So, and the other thing to remember is that both program tracks in a reversion must have a certified rank order list. So the reversion won't work if both programs don't have a certified rank order list. So if you're like, oh, I thought I was just going to revert it because I wasn't going to rank anybody, no, you're going to want to go ahead and withdraw that program where you're not going to rank. You don't need a reversion for that. You just need to withdraw the program. So a video on reversions, and there is a click-by-click support guide as well on the website. So you want to take a look at that. And so remember that neither reversions nor joint AP do roll over from match to match. So just because you had it set up last year doesn't mean it's set up this year. So check your program setup, make sure everything looks the way you want it, and give us a call if it's not, or if you're having any issues. And not on this slide, but just kind of a note to also make sure that if you do have multiple program tracks, that your program tracks are named distinctly from one another, so that applicants are easily able to tell what tracks they want to rank. We want applicants to successfully rank your programs. So we want them to successfully rank the tracks they're interested in. So help them out by naming the tracks appropriately and providing applicants the NRMP program codes. And if you need to change the name of a program track, we're happy to help. Just reach out to us. Again, support@nrmp.org. Another extremely important task we want you to complete before Friday is setting your program's SOAP status. So as you know, positions left unfilled after the matching algorithm has been run can be offered to applicants through SOAP. So SOAP begins at 10 on Monday of match week, which we talked about on the calendar. But program directors participating can choose whether or not their program will participate in SOAP if they learn during match week that they're unfilled. So to participate in SOAP, the program director must set their SOAP participation status to yes in the R3 system. So it's an opt-in thing. Program coordinators can't set SOAP participation, only program directors have this functionality. So if you're going to look for it, keep that in mind. So as you think about whether or not your program is going to participate in SOAP, if there are unfilled positions, program directors who don't participate in SOAP agree to offer positions only through SOAP until after SOAP concludes on Thursday of match week. So if you choose not to participate in SOAP, you can't extend offers for any unfilled positions to applicants until after SOAP concludes on Thursday of match week. So let's take a look at how you're going to do that in the R3 system. So again, it needs to be set by the PD. Just log into the R3 system, go into the program, and to that SOAP participation tab. And if you have multiple program tracks, you're going to set the SOAP participation status for each program. And then you're just going to select yes or no and click Save SOAP Participation Status. So try to make things easy in the R3 system. And again, has to be set in the R3 system by the quota change deadline on Friday. And the IOs do have to approve this status. So you can see under change requests and approvals whether your SOAP participation, quota changes, or any other program changes have been approved by the institutional officials. So kind of take a moment and take a look at that to make sure that all of your changes are being approved by your institutional official. And be patient with them. They have lots of programs and lots of change approvals to get through. So just be patient with your IOs. They are busy folks, and there's always lots to do with the match. Also keep in mind that programs who don't set a SOAP participation indicator will be automatically set to no by the NRMP. So make sure you're going to indicate your SOAP preference if you do wish to participate. Give us that yes, so we can make sure that you are in SOAP if you go unfilled. So let's talk about the RAL. That's the rank order list. Once you've reviewed your quota, any other program setup options, set that SOAP status, it's time to start entering rank order lists on Monday. That'll open at noon Eastern time. So what's a rank order list? Well, programs submit a list of applicants ranked in order of preference, whom they have interviewed and wish to train in their program. So at the same time, applicants are submitting a list of programs also ranked in order of preference where they wish to train. And it is these final preferences for both applicants and programs that are on those rank order lists that determine the match outcome. So when ranking opens on the 2nd, both programs and applicants can begin entering their rank order lists. And we do get this question occasionally as well. There's no need to worry if you're not ready to begin ranking yet, or even if your program is still interviewing. So how early you enter your list has no bearing on the match outcome, as long as it is entered by that ranking deadline on March 4th. RALs are created and certified electronically, again, in the NRMP's R3 system. So you don't create your RAL in ARIS or Residency CAS or in the application service. You create them and certify them in the NRMP system. Lists can be entered by either the PD or the PC, the coordinator, but the program director is responsible for certifying the list. Coordinators do not even have the ability in the R3 system to certify rank order lists. So keep that in mind if you are a program director, that your PC might be able to enter the list, but they cannot certify it. So there are multiple options in the NRMP R3 system to enter your list. So we'll take a look at those now. So after you've logged into the R3 system and selected the program you want to rank, you can see your program status. So the current status of this program is active, and that means the program hasn't begun ranking applicants. So to enter the rank order list, you'll click on that rank order list tab. Again, mentioned earlier, this tab isn't going to appear to you in the system until ranking opens on Monday. So for those of you following along, you're not going to see this tab yet, but it will be there on February 2nd at noon. The blank rank order list will open once you can click on that tab, and you'll see all the buttons and options that you can see there on the screen. So in this example, I am logged in as a program director. So coordinators won't see that certify list button because that functionality is reserved for the PD. So the first method we'll look at for entering applicants is to add them individually by NRMP ID. Remember that not all applicants will have entered an AMC ID into the NRMP system. So while you can search for applicants using an AMC ID, you might come up empty-handed, and you're going to need to use the NRMP ID or search by using the find and add function, which we'll go over in just a minute. So on the bottom of the list, highlighted here for you by the red box, is where you're going to enter the rank number and the ID of the applicant you're trying to add. After you've added the ID, just click Add Applicant and the Add Applicant and Save button, and the applicant is added to the list. So if the applicant isn't found, a message saying that is going to appear. You might want to check the ID number that you're using against their application to ensure that you didn't make a mistake, fat finger that number. And if they're still not found, go ahead and search by name, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. You also want to take a look that that program status will change to ranking once you have started to add folks to that list. So, and the applicant is added kind of, at the rank selected, and the role is saved automatically when you do that there from the bottom. Another way to search for and add applicants is that Find and Add Applicants button. When you select this option, the Find and Add Applicants box is going to pop up for you, and that's where you're going to enter your search criteria. You don't have to enter all the search criteria options to find an applicant. You can search by just name or just ID or just medical school or a combination of the criteria, but oftentimes simpler is better. So just search by name or just search by an ID. In this case, I'm searching for Julia Jones to add her to my rank list. After I click search, the results are going to be there right below that search box. So to add the applicant to your rank order list, you're going to check the box on the left column and then click Add Selected Applicants to RAL and save. So that will automatically save them to your rank order list. That search box will disappear and the applicant is added. So if you search for an applicant multiple ways, by multiple IDs, by just name, and you still can't find them, and you're sure the applicant information has been searched correctly, it may just mean that the applicant hasn't registered for the match. So just because an applicant has an application and you've got all their information, right, it doesn't mean that they've registered for the match. Again, I kind of talked pretty early on that the different application services are separate organizations and systems from the NRMP. So just because they've sent you an application doesn't mean they've registered for the match. So reach out to any applicants you can't find when you are ranking to see if they've registered for the match. And if they haven't, let them know that they need to go ahead and do that if they want to be ranked and matched to your program. The R3 system also offers ways for you to edit your list. Once you've added some applicants, there is a drag and drop feature that's going to allow you to move applicants around on your list, or you can manually change the rank number of an applicant to move them to a different rank by entering a rank number in the column. You can also remove applicants from your list. There's a red X over there in that column. And if you use it, applicants are deleted without changing the order of the rest of the applicants. So you can remove them from your list with no issues. So as you make changes and move applicants around, you're going to need to save that rank order list. So I moved Julia here to the top of my rank order list, and now I need to save the changes to my list. And you'll see reminders in the yellow box when you have unsaved changes. One thing to note as you're going through this is that the R3 system maintains only the most recently saved version of your list. There are no previous versions. So ensure that the changes you make are ones you want and that you are saving your work when you're editing. So after you click Save, the Saved button is grayed out, and that's going to indicate that there are no unsaved changes to your list. So for those of you with larger programs or lots of outstanding applicants, right, you're not going to want to enter them one by one, and we get that for sure. So there is a bulk upload or import feature that is going to help you with that long rank order list. So to upload applicants, you're going to select that blue import button It's over there on the right. And the import text file box will pop up, and it's got instructions for you on creating a comma delimited file. But what we're looking for really is the applicant's rank number, so where you want them on your list, and just one of the identifiers. And the preferred identifier is the NRMP ID. And the identifier must be that second element in the file content. So really, we're just looking for that rank number and the identifier. So each element must be separated by a comma, and only one rank per line is permitted. So I've cut and pasted my 5 applicants from my source file into the file contents box there. You can see below, and I selected my identifier as the NRMP ID above. And so once you've pasted your applicants into the box, you're going to click the Upload Applicants and Save List. So you'll get kind of an intermediate page that's going to allow you to view your raw import file. And if an applicant isn't found, you'll see an invalid ID message, and it will say applicant not found at that rank number. So all applicants you intend to rank may not be found using the import function. Applicants who are not found may not have registered yet, or may not have entered the identifier you selected. So if you selected anything other than NRMP ID, so if you chose AAMC ID and the applicant didn't enter an AAMC ID in our system, they won't come up in this import, which is why we strongly encourage you to use NRMP ID, because all applicants will have an NRMP ID if they're registered for the match. So make sure you're reviewing your imported raw carefully. And search for individual applicants who may not have been imported in the Find and Add Applicants function to add them to your rank order list. So you can still import the list, even if there are some applicants not found in your import, by just clicking that import button on the bottom of the screen. The other thing to know is that importing a list will overwrite any previous list. So be sure that the one you import is the one you want, because it's going to replace anything that you've already done. So you might want to start with importing if you intend to import, and then make changes from there, or make any additions from there, or search for folks you couldn't find from there. So after clicking import, you'll see that your new saved rank order list is on the screen. And then you can make any additional edits and additions to the list using those tools I just showed you. And again, make sure you save your work. Couple of other features to note: if you do have a very long rank order list and you want to see where you ranked a particular applicant, some of you have really long lists, 200 and 300 people, there is a search my list option. When you click to search your list, a search box will open up both above and below the rank order list. You can see it there above my rank order list. And you can enter a last name, an NRMP ID, or an AMC ID of an applicant in one of the search boxes, and then click on that magnifying glass to search. So a results box is going to pop up telling you the rank of the applicant if they've been found on your list. The other one that you should know about is the delete all button if you want to start your list over again. But just be careful with this button. An alert will pop up asking if you're sure you want to delete it, but be sure that's the case before confirming, because once the list is deleted, it cannot be recovered. And then there's also an option to print your rank order list. So those are the ranking options in terms of creating your list. But once your list is ready for certification, that would be your next step. So again, the PD must certify the list. And that PC doesn't even have that certify list button. So only at the program level, only the PD can certify the rank order list. But at the institution level, the IO can also certify the list if the PD is not available to do so, as long as they have been registered for the match and they have electronically signed the match participation agreement. So make sure that the PD for your program has registered for the match, or else your rank order list cannot be certified. So you're going to want to take a look and see. So a PD who shows in the R3 system under that Program Director Coordinator tab as pledged is registered and has electronically signed the match participation agreement. But if it says not registered next to the PD's name, that PD is not registered for the match and will need to register for that list to be certified. As I emphasized earlier, any program with outstanding change requests won't be able to certify a list until the IO, that DIO institutional official, approves those changes. So if there's still quota changes, SOAP status, reversions, those have to be approved by your institutional official before you can certify. So how do we do that? To certify, the PD is going to click that yellow Certify List button. An authentication box is going to appear. It's going to show you the number of applicants ranked on your list and the information about the match commitment. So read it carefully. And then once you're ready, you're going to enter the password and click Submit to certify the list for use in the match. After you have certified the list, your program status will show as certified in green in the R3 system. I've highlighted that there. And once your status says certified in green for each of your program tracks, there's nothing left for you to do but wait for the match results. But if you do decide there are last minute changes, I want to move this one around, or I want to add this applicant, or I want to not add this applicant, or I want this applicant off my list, PDs can edit the rank order list after certification. Only PDs can successfully use that edit list function, well, institutional officials as well, but at the program level, only PDs can edit the rank order list after certification. Once it is in ranking status again, the program coordinator can actually make the changes, but the list must be recertified prior to the deadline, and only certified lists will be used when the match is run. Remember that rank order list certification deadline is on Wednesday, March 4th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and after that, no changes can be made to your rank order list. And we do get calls and requests, and the answer has and always will be, unfortunately, we cannot make any changes to your rank order list, and certainly not after the deadline. So after that rank order list certification deadline, you guys are pushing back from your computers, and we are kicking it into high gear here at the NRMP. So we begin preparing data for that matching algorithm to be processed. So let's talk about that algorithm. It is what we call applicant proposing, but basically what that means is it starts with the preferences on the rank order list submitted by applicants, not programs, to begin placement into residency training. If an applicant can't be matched to his or her first choice program, then the algorithm moves to their second choice program, third choice program, fourth choice program, and so on until the applicant obtains a tentative match, or until it gets to the bottom of that list and has considered all of the ranks and can't make a match. So we could talk about the algorithm all day, but we've actually created a video that is super helpful. So I want to play that for you now, so you can see what a sample match looks like and how the algorithm actually works to make matches.
The NRMP uses a computerized mathematical algorithm to place applicants into residency and fellowship positions by matching applicants to their most preferred training programs. There are lots of myths and misperceptions about how the NRMP's matching algorithm works and how participating applicants and programs should rank each other to have the best chance at matching. In this video, we'll run a sample match to help demystify the process. Before we begin, let's cover the basics of how the matching algorithm works. The algorithm is applicant proposing, meaning it initiates placement of an applicant into a program based on the choices made on an applicant's rank order list first, rather than a program's rank order list. However, for a match to occur, both the applicant and program must rank each other. There can never be a match if both parties haven't ranked each other. The algorithm starts with an applicant's rank order list and attempts to match that applicant to their first choice. If that can't be done, the algorithm will try to match the applicant to the second choice, and so on, until the applicant is tentatively matched or all choices on the list have been exhausted. Let's run a sample match to see the algorithm in action. 6 applicants: Andre, Paul, Jordan, Teresa, Omar, and Allison, and 3 programs, Mercy, City, and General, have certified rank order lists. Each program has 2 positions. The algorithm randomly starts with Andre. Andre only ranks City. Because the algorithm is applicant proposing, it attempts to match Andre to City. City ranked Andre 3rd. Because there are no other tentative matches for City, the algorithm tentatively matches Andre to City. While the algorithm is running, matches are considered tentative because an applicant who matches to a program at one point in the process may be removed from the program later to make space for an applicant the program ranked higher. Next, here's how the algorithm attempts to match Paul. Paul also ranked City first, so the algorithm attempts to match him there. City ranked Paul 5th. Because City still has 1 opening left, the algorithm tentatively matches Paul to City. Let's see how the algorithm tries to match Jordan. Jordan's first choice is also City, and even though she thinks it's unlikely she'll match there, she ranks it first because it's where she really wants to be. So the algorithm attempts to match Jordan to City. While City has ranked Jordan 2, she can't match there because both openings are already tentatively matched to higher ranked applicants. The algorithm now attempts to match Jordan to her second ranked program, Mercy. Mercy has ranked Jordan 2nd. Since there are 2 positions available, Jordan receives a confirmed match because she is one of the 2 applicants most preferred by Mercy. Next, here's how the algorithm tries to match Teresa. Teresa ranked Mercy first. Mercy didn't rank Teresa, so she can't match there. The algorithm moves to Teresa's second rank, City. City has ranked Teresa 4th, so Teresa tentatively matches with City. However, Teresa's tentative match has displaced Paul since he was ranked 5th by City. So let's jump back to Paul. There are 2 tentative matches ranked higher than him by City, and only 2 openings. The algorithm tries to place Paul at his second rank, Mercy, but Mercy didn't rank Paul, so he tentatively matches with his 3rd ranked option, General. Now the algorithm moves to Omar. Omar ranked Mercy first, but Mercy didn't rank Omar. The algorithm attempts to match Omar to his second rank, General. General ranked Omar first, so Omar matches a General. He receives a confirmed match because he's the applicant most preferred by General, and there's no chance he'll be displaced later in the process by a more preferred applicant. Last, let's see how the algorithm tries to match Allison. Allison ranked City first. City ranked Allison first. Allison receives a confirmed match because she's the applicant that City most prefers. However, since City has only 2 positions, an applicant must again be removed from City to make room for Allison. That applicant is Teresa, because she was the least preferred applicant available on City's rank order list. The algorithm then attempts to match Teresa to her 3rd rank, General. General ranked Teresa 4th, so she matches to General. Since General ranked Teresa higher than Paul, the algorithm removes Paul's tentative match, displacing him again. Finally, the algorithm returns to Paul, but none of the programs on Paul's list that also ranked him have any remaining open spots, so Paul is unmatched. The process is complete and the match is final. Let's take a deeper look at the results for Paul and Andre. All applicants except Paul matched to their most preferred programs possible. Although all of Paul's choices have been attempted, he didn't match at either City or General because other applicants were ranked higher, and he couldn't match at Mercy because Mercy didn't rank him at all. All the applicants, except for Andre, used the match to their advantage by ranking all acceptable programs at which they interviewed in their preferred order to maximize their chances of matching. Andre took a real risk by ranking only City. While Andre did get a match, applicants with shorter lists have a higher likelihood of being unmatched. Remember, applicants should rank all programs they are willing to attend. Now, let's take a deeper look at the programs. City and General filled all their positions, but Mercy is left with one unfilled slot. Mercy didn't use the match to its advantage because it submitted a short rank order list. Remember, programs should rank all applicants they consider acceptable to train. While the match can seem complicated, we hope this sample match has helped clarify how the algorithm works. Here are two important things to keep in mind when it's time to certify your rank order list. First, the match is a binding commitment for applicants and programs, so all participants should rank only the options they are willing to accept on their rank order list. Second, the algorithm will try to match you to the highest ranked option that also ranked you, so there's no penalty for ranking Reach programs higher if you're an applicant or ranking Reach applicants higher if you're a program, regardless of whether you think you have a chance of matching. The best ranking strategy for all participants is one based only on true preference. To learn more about the matching process, visit the NRMP website.
So that always does a better job than I ever could explaining how the algorithm actually works. But as the video said, there's no match if the applicant didn't rank the program didn't rank the applicant, or the program and applicant ranked each other, but the program filled with other applicants more preferred by the program. So it proceeds down the applicant's list rank by rank until a tentative match is made until all the choices have been considered. And if no tentative match can be made, the applicant will go unmatched. And it does this for about 44,000 positions and about 47,000-ish applicants. So, and as you saw from poor Mercy there, programs with shorter lists risk not filling. So programs truly should rank all the applicants that they would be willing to train and who are eligible for their programs. That as long as you're kind of willing to have that applicant and want them in your program, you should rank them. So now that you have a better understanding kind of how your lists will be used when the matching algorithm is processed, here are just some tips. Again, if you haven't already, we want to encourage you to provide applicants your NRMP program codes to help them rank your program. And again, make sure those tracks are named well so that applicants, especially if you have multiple tracks, know the difference between your different tracks, if it's a research track or if it's a different geographic location. So just make sure that those tracks are named well so that applicants can rank them appropriately. And the next is, we kind of beat this horse a lot, but truly it's very interesting to me how many programs and applicants go against the best guidance, which is to rank by true preference. And this really is guidance that we give to applicants as well. But rank your most preferred applicant first, then your second choice, third, and so on. Don't rank applicants based on who you think might match to your program, or the applicants you think that are going to rank your program high. When you do that, you don't give the algorithm a chance to match your dream resident. If you're trying to rank highest the applicants you think that are most likely to match to your program, because they might match it to your program, right? And then the algorithm never gets further down to those folks that you ranked lower, even though you shouldn't have. So make sure that you really are ranking by true preference to give yourself the best chance to get the applicants you really want most in your program. Also extremely important is to rank only applicants you're sure you want to train in your program and who meet all your program and institution requirements for appointment. And Joy's going to talk more about your requirements around ensuring applicants are eligible for your program. Remember that placing an applicant on your rank order list does create that binding commitment. If a match occurs, you are obligated to train that applicant in your program. So do not rank applicants that you do not wish to train. Mentioned this multiple times earlier, but the program director is responsible for certifying or editing that rank order list in the R3 system. And so you want to make sure that they have done that, and you want to avoid waiting until the last minute to enter and certify your rank order list in the R3 system. So that deadline approaches and life happens, right? You could have computer issues, life issues that hamper your ability to get in and enter or certify that list. So I just can't stress enough the importance of adhering to that deadline. Some of you maybe have heard of unfortunate mishaps in previous years of program lists that were not entered before the deadline, or of inadvertent deletions of entire lists with attempts to recreate it at the very last minute. And we are talking, at 8:59 p.m., we've gotten these calls. So the NRMP does not enter or modify rank order lists. So you do want to be sure that your list reflects your preferences and is entered and certified well before the deadline. So you've listened to me drone on enough. Finally, let's make sure everyone stays out of hot water. I'm going to turn things over to Joy, who's going to cover those relevant match policies for you. Joy, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Jeanette, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm very happy to be here with you today to talk about some important highlights on match policy. But before we get started and get into those details, I want to start off by asking an essential question. Why does policy matter? Well, NRMP policy, it exists to keep the match fair and consistent. We want it to be a supportive process for everyone involved, and our policies help ensure that the playing fields, they actually stay level and fair for everyone. As we move through today's presentation, I would like you to keep in mind that these policies are not in any means meant to feel restrictive. In fact, they're designed to guide you, protect you, and even create a smoother experience throughout the process. Policies are not just rules, they're your safety net through the match. We're going to take a moment to look at how NRMP policies actually shape the match experience. NRMP policies are a critical part of how the match functions. The Match Participation Agreement, or the MPA, also known as, governs the entire matching program by outlining what roles and responsibilities all participants have, and it clearly defines the consequences if a violation of policy were to occur. Of course, we don't want that to happen, but this will help keep you rooted. From there, participants are prompted to read the full match participation agreement, and you're attesting that you have read it and that you will comply with the policies and honor the match outcome. Once registration is complete, the MPA is that binding contract, and you will hear us talk about that a few times or so. That contract governs how both applicants and programs must conduct themselves throughout the transition to training. So with that context, I want to start diving into the agreement itself. Over the next several slides, we're going to break down what some of those sections actually say and what they mean, and what you can do to stay compliant and avoid common pitfalls. So first off, we're going to take a look at the binding commitment and eligibility checks. One of the foundational pieces of the match participation agreement is the binding commitment. It's the backbone of how this match works, and understanding it helps programs and applicants to stay aligned with compliance. When an applicant and a program match, both sides enter the binding commitment. That commitment lasts for 45 days, and that starts on the start date that's listed in your appointment contract. The part that's really important, and I want you to take this away, during the first 45 days, neither a program or an applicant can be released from that binding commitment unless they request and receive an approved waiver from the NRMP. The next part we want to talk about is restrictions on recruitment and contact. Because the commitment is binding, we have clear limits on what programs can do during that time and even beyond. For example, programs cannot discuss, interview, or offer a position to an applicant who already has a concurrent year position through the NRMP. You also cannot approach applicants who are ineligible because of a waiver request was denied or a violation has been confirmed. This is important because it protects the applicants and programs and the fairness of the system. It prevents recruitment around active commitments and ensures that everyone participates on equal footing. How might you figure that out, you might be wondering. And so we have an applicant match history tool that helps programs to stay compliant. Our R3 system includes this tool. It's here to help program directors, coordinators, and institutional staff confirm whether an applicant already has a match commitment, or if they've been involved in a waiver review or a violation investigation. The nice part is this information is available to you year-round, and it doesn't matter if the match you participate in is currently open or closed. You can access this at any time that you would like to verify their eligibility. We're now going to take a look at the applicant match history search screens. Here you can see what the applicant match history search screen looks like within the R3 system. You'll enter an applicant's name, and the tool will display any matches that it finds. From here, you can click on the applicant's name and pull up their full history, including if they've ever had a waiver, a deferral, any confirmed violation investigation. It allows you to quickly verify eligibility and make informed decisions before you move forward with interviews or offers. One important thing to remember that when you use this tool, if an applicant has never participated in a match, they will not appear in your search results. That's completely normal. It means that they have never participated within the NRMP match, so we have no data associated with them yet. Now that you know what this tool looks like and how to interpret the results, we're going to talk about how this fits into overall eligibility screening. Eligibility for ranking in section 7.3.1 of our agreement is a guide for programs to make sure that any applicant you want to rank is eligible for your program, eligible for state licensure. What kind of visas will you sponsor? The reason that it matters, it's simple. If an applicant can't meet your licensure, credentialing requirements, or the ability to obtain a visa that your institution will accept, the program may find itself needing to request a waiver later because the applicant ultimately isn't eligible to start training. Section 7.3 is designed to help programs avoid that situation altogether. Policy does require that programs ensure and verify your applicant's state licensure eligibility before certifying your rank order list. It is also the responsibility for institutions to ensure that programs have a process in place to review state licensure board eligibility and ensure the applicants that you're ranking meet those requirements for the license as published by your state licensure board. In short, section 7.3.1 is about making sure programs rank only those applicants who can begin training. Now that we've covered eligibility, let's look at how it ties into your overall compliance checks as you prepare to finalize your rank order list. It is a policy requirement that you provide all applicants complete, timely, and accurate information. This is a section that comes up quite frequently in the policy department because programs really want to be sure that they're meeting this requirement and provide the applicants with what they're needed. And I'm going to take a little time breaking this down clearly. Programs must provide to applicants all the information that they need prior to the rank order list certification deadline. When we say complete, timely, and accurate, this means that applicants should have a clear understanding of what they're expected to sign and all of the institutional policies or onboarding requirements that they must meet to onboard with their program. This includes things like pre-employment testing, background checks, visa sponsorship, and any other onboarding requirements your institution may have. I want to give you some examples of the required information. Pre-employment testing, drug screening, background checks, whether criminal, financial, or otherwise, visa sponsorship, what types your programs can support, and really any requirement that an applicant would need to complete in order to begin training. These items help applicants understand what the criteria is before you rank them, and it will reduce confusion and decrease the risk of issues later. One of the most important pieces of this policy is the actual documentation. Programs must be able to demonstrate that you have provided this information to the applicants. It could be through emails, PDF attachments, written communications, or other records. You must obtain an attestation from applicants that confirms they have received and reviewed all the required information. The agreement does allow flexibility that the signed acknowledgement can be an email response that the applicant has received this information, or it can be a signed attestation that they send back to you. We just ask that you keep this information on file in case it is ever needed in the future. You want to make sure that it includes any and all information about what they need to do to onboard with your program. I want to also put this on the flip side that applicants are also responsible to provide you with timely and accurate information. They also must be sure that all of their information to you about their eligibility status, licensure-related issues, visa concerns, anything that could affect their ability to begin training, they are disclosing to you. This ensures that you as a program can make an informed decision about whether to rank that applicant. At the end of the day, by providing accurate information on both sides, it truly does help ensure a smoother onboarding process. It reduces the likelihood of last-minute issues that could potentially require a waiver or even disrupt a program's training schedule. The best practice here is to make sure all communications and documents are completed prior to the certification deadline, and as I mentioned, stored somewhere that could be accessible at a later time if required. Not only does this help you to comply with our policies, it also supports a fair, transparent process for everyone involved. Now that we've covered that, I would like to talk about restrictions on persuasion, section 6.5. We've talked about what programs must share with the applicants, but now we'd like to shift to the other side of the conversation and talk about what programs cannot ask the applicants. Programs, it makes it very clear, our agreement, as to what programs may not ask applicants. A program can never ask about an applicant's ranking preference signals, where else they applied, the specialties, locations, or programs that they're possibly considering, names of programs they've interviewed with, or any interviews that they've been offered, declined, accepted, or attended. These rules are in place to protect applicants from pressure and to ensure the match process stays fair, impartial, and focused on an applicant's true qualifications and fit within your program. What does this look like during an interview? Where else are you applying? How are you ranking us? But here's what you can ask. What interests you about our program? Why are you interested in this specialty? What draws you to our city or region? To further note, if applicants choose to volunteer additional information when not prompted by the program, it should always remain on their qualification and fit with your program. Programs are permitted to tell an applicant that they're viewed favorably and that they want to rank them. It is allowed up until the rank order list certification deadline, as long as it stays in line with our rules on persuasion. Everyone must follow these rules. It's critical that everyone involved in recruitment, it could be your interviewers, committee members, coordinators, residents, anyone that's representing your program during interviews. You need to follow these rules, and they not only apply during recruitment, but even after the match concludes. We even have additional guidance that can be found in the codes of conduct, which are not direct match participation agreement policies, but it's a good source of a guide as to what is the right thing and wrong thing to ask in an interview. Post-match surveys, we always get a lot of questions on, can we send out a post-match survey? And yes, that's absolutely fine. Our only caution here is that the survey must not ask applicants where they ranked the program or how they ordered their list or why they didn't rank their program. If you ever have any questions about a post-match survey and compliance, the NRMP is always happy to review it for you and make sure it follows policy. Now we've covered those restrictions on persuasion, we're going to move on to, yes.
Can I pop in for a second here?
Yes.
Everyone, I know that we are over time, so my apologies for that. We do have some more slides to go through, so if you can stick with us, great. But if you can't, this recording is going to be put up on the NRMP website. I apologize that we're going over time. There's just a lot of content. And so, again, my apologies for going over time. Next year, we're going to make this one an hour and a half, I think. Otherwise, I'm going to have to talk at double speed, and I don't think anybody wants that. So we're going to keep going. And for those of you who can stay with us, that's fantastic. If not, check out the recording. But we're going to keep going now. Thanks for sticking with us if you can.
Thank you, Jeanette. I only have a few more to go, so I'll try to wrap this up a little quicker too. So we're going to shift to the submission of the rank order list and take a moment to just recap some of the important things that we have addressed here today. Be sure you're verifying state license eligibility. Make sure you're confirming that their visa sponsorship, that you're able to support their visa. Provide contract and policy information to all applicants. And as a reminder, these steps do ensure that the ranking process is fair, transparent, and aligns with policies. They greatly reduce the likelihood of an unexpected issue after the match results are released. Before I wrap it up, I want to highlight policy resources that are available to you on the NRMP website. They include the match participation agreements, the codes of conduct that I touched on a little bit earlier with some good information there for you, though not policy, good rules to follow. And then also policy and compliance FAQs, frequently asked questions, as well as a collection of policy-related videos that program and institutional staff can access at any time on the policy section of the website. Our resources here are designed to answer common questions and clarify any expectations and help you to navigate your match experience with confidence, and they're there when you need them. This is truly all the pertinent information that I have to share with you today in regards of policy. I hope that I was able to answer a lot of your questions today. But please remember, at any time a question or concern arises, do not hesitate to contact our policy team. We are always here to help you, and we genuinely are happy to help you with anything that you need. You can contact us at policy@nrmp.org. Thank you again for your time and for the work you do to support your applicants and your programs. With that, I will hand things back over to Jeanette to wrap it up. Sorry, everyone. I'm not sure if we're having a technical difficulty.
Sorry, here we are. My apologies.
Okay.
I was having an internet moment. Thanks. I apologize. Just wanted to highlight the support guides and video resources that are available on our website. As you all can saw earlier, we have some videos, and we are putting up new information as much as we can. So when you're logged into the R3 system, there is an orange eye icon that you can select that pulls down a support menu with some different resources, including some of those short videos like the one we showed earlier, step-by-step support guides to assist you through all the tasks in the match. And so additional materials can be found at www.nrmp.org. So take a look at these resources to help you navigate the match process. And then for those of you who are in the 3 specialties that are participating in the raw lock pilot, there is additional information on the raw lock pilot underneath the Insights webpage, underneath the Insights page of our website. So I would encourage you to take a look at that. We did not cover the raw lock here today since it doesn't apply to all of the specialties, but there is information on that webpage, including frequently asked questions and information and screenshots on how to do the lock. So encourage you to take a look at that there as well. And last, we will be doing another one of these fun sessions. So we are going to be holding a webinar covering Match Week and SOAP, and that will be on Wednesday, February 25th. So that's going to cover all your Match Week and SOAP questions, because I know there are always lots of those. So we're going to be emailing additional information and a registration link sometime over the next week, so you all can register for that. And since we are over time, we won't get to any live questions today, but hopefully we have answered your questions in that Q&A box. I know staff have been busy in there answering questions, but I'm sure you might have others. So make sure that you reach out to us. Here's our information. Save the date for that next webinar, and the webinar recording today and slides will be posted to our website in the next day or two. So thanks for joining us for this webinar. And again, contact us if you need assistance. And most importantly, good luck in the match.